Wanted to speak about a video I recently saw with Stefan Molyneux. I have a real love-hate relationship with Stefan Molyneux, and it was about the economic truths of automation, kind of dispelling some of the more aggressive criticism of automation and how it can lead to all sorts of problems in the economy. Molyneux's not technically wrong in most of his assessments of how the free market works. And in most situations, the free market is the best way to go if you want innovation and you want that, general rising tide floats all boats. I'm not really refuting the real core of his argument, but one of the things that bugs me about Molyneux is the fact that he loves to just grossly oversimplify things to the point that he just kind of makes an ass out of himself. And the thing that bugged me the most was his main example about nails. He talks about the medieval nail worker, the kind of like the blacksmith making nails. Somebody comes along, invents a machine that makes nails, right? And of course, the medieval blacksmith guy, he's put out of a job. But we don't often talk about the benefit to society as a whole, and the fact that there's a lot of options about retraining, and you've basically created a whole bunch of value in the system that didn't exist before. That makes sense. The problem is Molyneux's not really looking at the biggest problem with automation that we have right now. And again, I do want to put it out there that I'm not exactly dismissing all of Molyneux's claims, but we're not talking about nails. We're talking about something much more integral to our society that's going to be a little bit more of a challenge for us to negotiate. I've talked to this about this subject quite a few times, and I want to reiterate this here. What's the biggest part of our economy that's about to be automated? It's shipping, because of the driverless car and the driverless vehicle. This is going to be an absolutely cataclysmic event if they do not handle it correctly. You're looking to eliminate massive chunks of the workforce, whether it be delivery drivers, whether it be people who work in the insurance industry, because a whole section of the insurance market is about to just gone. What happens if we eliminate ownership of cars for something that's more akin to a Netflix of cars type scenario? This is an earthquake that could potentially leave a whole buttload of people unemployed. Now, does that mean that we should, run away from the automated car screaming? Does that mean that we should suppress it? No, it's going to be an absolutely necessary improvement to our society. But we need to be realistic about how we handle this and how we introduce it. If you go all gung-ho and ram this down everybody's throats, corporations are going to be able to take massive piles of money, fire a good chunk of their workforce, and just sit on it. And one of the things that I've said before is I'm not necessarily even that worried about people starving to death. I worry about people bringing out the guillotine because they simply have nowhere to go. You're looking at just a massive revolution in how our economy functions. And I'm sorry, Molyneux, your nails analogy is just woefully inadequate to describe the situation that we're going to be encountering soon. It's so simplistic and so out of bounds that I almost gave myself a concussion rolling my eyes during that video. Like, who the hell cares about nails? Do you have any idea how much automation is on the horizon? I mean, we could potentially eliminate the entire farm workforce. Now, that process has been a little bit slower, and that doesn't have as many cataclysmic threats the way that driverless cars could. And again, you kind of need government. You need some type of body to supervise and maybe even slow that down a little bit to mitigate the shock to the system that it's going to introduce. I sympathize with Molyneux's absolute love and devotion to the free market. Maybe the free market is an intelligence test. But Molyneux, you failed it, man. You're not going to get anywhere with that type of small-minded, idiotic, simplistic explanation. There's so much more going on here, all right? Just try a little humility.